we are coming to you from the beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee, and our family has an incredible announcement to make. We've made a big life decision where we've decided that we will be moving to Chattanooga, Tennessee, June of this year. We came to Chattanooga this week to do a scouting trip and to view a home that we have fallen in love with. We've entered into a contract on this house, and it's got 12 beautiful acres, and this video is our opportunity to show you what our new life in Chattanooga will look like, what the house looks like, what the lifestyle is like here, and we'll just share more about why we're moving and what we're excited about and looking forward to. So thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy this little video that we put together for you about this change. So a lot of people have been asking us why Chattanooga, and it feels like it's come out of left field, but really it's been God designing something in our lives that we needed and didn't yet know that we needed. So in March of this year, March 1 through 5, I went to Alaska to do a project with our missions agency, Novo. And up until that point, I had been in the deepest, darkest season of grief after losing Elizabeth. And my relationship with God was morphing and changing, and I desperately needed the Lord to show up in my life. And while I was in Alaska, God faithfully met me. He met me in the rugged mountaintops. He met me in the beauty of the snow and the serenity of that place. He met me with the love of a father in really deep places in my heart. And I really felt like on that trip, the Lord began to resurrect my heart, and I felt joy returning in the most miraculous of ways. And I started to get in touch with dreams within myself that were deep, they were buried, they were muted by some of the pain and sorrow that I had been experiencing. And Alaska really woke up some of those dreams inside of me. And I just started to ask the Lord, what is next in our lives? And started to communicate with the Lord that I had a need for change in location, and to be in a place that really provoked that inspiration and beauty and dreaming in me like Alaska did. And I started to ask God if there was a place we could move to that would solicit that in me, that would help me dream and be inspired by nature and have a more active lifestyle, and to begin to fulfill other dreams that I've had for a while now of having property and gardening and just, a different pace of life. And when I got home and told Simeon about all of the amazing things that God was doing in my heart in Alaska, he was the one that said, I think we need to move. And we started dreaming about what that would look like. And we actually decided that we weren't going to make any decisions about moving until June of 2022. And then suddenly Chattanooga came back to mind. And we had been to Chattanooga 6 years ago on the Rifo Road Tour. For those of you that remember that we did a trip around the country. We traveled for 5 months. We visited 30 states and stayed with 50 host families, and we saw a lot of places. And it was that trip that actually led us to move to Phoenix. And we knew coming to Phoenix that it was going to be a temporary place for us, but that the long-term move would be the move that we did after Phoenix. But we just didn't know where that was yet. So Simeon suddenly just had Chattanooga on his heart, and we started researching and looking at it, and it was an immediate yes for me. It was like something made sense. And that was on March 7th. We said yes, we're going to give ourselves permission to pursue this idea of moving to Tennessee and moving to Chattanooga, a place that we loved when we visited during the Rifo Road Tour. And from that point forward, God started to do just incredible things.
So as Johanna shared, we made this bold decision, and our prayer right out the gate was that God would show up in the details, because it felt like our yes was just a perfect converging opportunity for so much. We realized after thinking about Chattanooga that it would be a central location between family. I have a brother in Memphis and a brother in Charlotte, and it was also a regional location to connect us to relationships and ministry opportunities with artists and friends that we've developed connection to both in Nashville and Atlanta that are both just a couple of hours away. And so our yes was something we really wanted God to confirm. And so part of our process was to ask God to show up in detailed ways. And really, the way I've begun to describe it to people is I felt like he had lined up a whole line of dominoes. And after one thing happened, the next thing fell. And it was the Lord out ahead of us, dealing in the details and setting things up in a way that was peaceable. Oftentimes moving and making a big life transition like this is a really stressful thing. But we just found that God was making it easy, and he was always one step ahead of us in detailed ways, adding confidence and solidifying vision and dreams that were beginning to form in us. And so just to give you guys a couple simple examples, our realtor in Phoenix, who's a family member of ours, connected us to a realtor he was connected to in Chattanooga that he only knew through this association he's a part of with realtors around the country. But this realtor that we got connected to, who was actually one of several, had the inside track on this property that we're now under contract for, that you've probably already seen a little bit of here in the video. And as we shared our story with him, he began to get goosebumps, and he just drew out of our story and our desires and the passions and things that we were communicating what he saw as an opportunity to connect us with his friend who was selling this property, that didn't want to leave, but had begun to recognize that they needed to sell the property. And so they were looking for the right buyer. And the situation was actually different than what we were looking to pursue. But as we considered it, it just opened up this next level of detail, dreams, and vision for things that felt really inaccessible, especially in Johanna's heart, desires that just felt, too far out of reach. And so we began to explore that, and it just happened that we were the right buyers that they were looking for. They weren't trying to make some big financial splash. They really wanted a family that was going to steward and care for the land that they had fallen in love with, and the home that they had begun to build a dream home around for their family. And so we really feel like we've inherited in this transition truly a gift from God. This land, this home, the central location to so many things, and it's really been a peaceable process. Again, like I said, God's been right one step ahead of us every which way. And the one other thing I'll share is that through our missions organization, Novo, there's an older couple that's already out here that has already gone before us and begun to network and build relationships, and they've just embraced us. Even on this vision trip, we've been able to stay with them, borrow their car, go around the city with them, begin to connect with people. And before we ever met them in person, we got a chance to pray with them on a call. And the husband, his name is Jim, and he just said, I want you guys to know that you have an advocate here. And I don't know you guys yet, but we love you, and we can't wait to care for you and serve you. And so we just already feel like there's a family here that can be an anchor for us in this transition. We know it's going to be a ton of starting over, especially relationally. But we just see God out ahead of us and paving the way and providing exceedingly and abundantly beyond what we were asking or imagining. And he's a good father, and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this little video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we really would love for you to just cover our family in prayer over the next 30 days in particular as we prepare to sell our home in Phoenix and transition, make the drive out here caravan style to move to Chattanooga in the beginning of June. There's a lot of transition that our family's going to be going through. And there's certainly a loss in saying goodbye to friendships that have been so dear to us for the last 5 years, that we hope will continue to be lifelong friendships. The Lord has really blessed us with an amazing network of community in Phoenix that we will miss incredibly. But we just see the Lord preparing a new path, and we're saying yes, and we're being obedient to that. So thank you for being a part of this announcement. And we would greatly covet your prayers over the next 30 days as we're in this time of transition.